always found myself using old guitars and old amps and then new pedals, because old pedals are cool, but they don't ever really work.
Yeah, they're noisy.
Yeah, the bypass is terrible, you know.
Okay, let's plug into a couple. What guitar do you want to
anything you
demo
like.
these with?
Pick one.
Okay,
so everything's off here.
Yeah,
right?
so let's kind of go through your whole signal chain. Starts with that verb, okay.
Well, that's the last thing. That's the most amazing sounding tube spring reverb unit ever made.
God.
My buddy Ebo made that. It's incredible, right?
I know Evo.
Yeah.
And he makes his great amps
yeah,
too.
Great amps. And
Yeah.
so that's like the last thing in line. And man, the preamp in that thing is incredible. Even what it just does to the front end of an amp, if you turn the verb off, it's incredible.
Really?
So the board's going into that and then into the amp, right? So that's on all the stuff I played previous. That was the only effect that was on, was that reverb.
Yeah.
Right. And then the rest of the stuff is just. I've always ended up with the same. I've got several pedal boards, but it's all really the same stuff, man. I end up with like 6 or 7 stages of gain over here, a volume pedal, and then I've got all the trail over here.
Yeah.
You know, instead of, like, I'm not one of those guys that could ever use like a 2-channel amp, clean and dirty. I have to have several incremental stages of gain, very light, because that's the kind of music we're playing around here. Like I start with a clean sound, and then each one of these is a very subtle increase in gain, like even the EQs.
Okay, let's, just for funsies, let's take it from clean to filthy
Yeah,
and kind of talk about which one.
Yeah, well, you know, your basic clean sound. The amp's got a little bit of juice in it already.
Yeah.
But that verb is sick, right?
Wow.
So good.
Yeah, that is just beautiful, man.
So, like, you know, for like a real soft gain, like I'll just do side one of the Analog Man King of Tone. I love this pedal too. The light speed, it's great. A little bit out of tune, but there you go. So then my favorite pedal of all these pedals is the old Boss EQ.
Man, I've got that pedal. It's really noisy.
Well, you got to get them modded.
What's the mod?
Yeah, they just quiet them down. You can go in and get all the hiss out of them. Right?
Oh,
this one actually is not even modded, but I got a bunch that are. But here's why I love this pedal, right? Like I basically could get by with just this pedal, because it's like it's the best solo boost pedal of all time. Huh. Like if you just bump the mid-range and then goose the gain a little bit, and then you kick it on when you play a solo, the whole world knows you're playing a solo on a live gig.
Right.
It's got just the right amount. Like everyone's always asking, what's the best boost pedal or whatever? Boss EQ, $40 pedal, best boost pedal ever made. So like if you're just playing like, you know, a riff, right? When you're playing a 335 on a live gig, that extra mid-range bump, you just turn the guitar to the amp just a little bit. You get the perfect octave up, controllable feedback.
Oh, that's great.
And you bend, and just perfect octave up happens.
Yeah.
There it is. It's even there. And then that's how, you know, that's what's great about these, you know. And they've got so much gain. I mean, at unity gain at 5, this thing will crank like. But that's not all I use the Boss EQ for. I use it for a lot more than that. Like you can turn the neck pickup of a 335 or a Les Paul, which is usually a pretty woofy sound, instantly into a Gretsch by doing this. You know, cutting the 400 but boosting the bass and then boosting the top, right? Like, so here's a neck pickup of a, let me tune this thing. Okay, so here's like your normal neck pickup sound. do this. Clarity.
I think it's more about what you're taking away than what you're adding.
And then you can also do fun stuff like this, Gas the mids all the way completely. Put a little bit of other distortion. Which is like amazing for certain parts.
Right.
And I love lo-fi, totally goosed EQs. Like that's why I have this pedal. I have it set up only for that. So like it's just another parametric. It's a normal sound.
So what I've never seen that. That's the Ibanez what?
It's an old, just an old EQ. I don't even know what
Ibanez
PQ9. But it's great for that lo-fi stuff. It's great. And then you got classic Nobles, which I've been using for 25 years. I mean,
let's hear that thing.
Yeah, I mean that's classic. I mean that's my all-time favorite overdrive pedal. There's no verb. This is just dry, right? Put a little slap on it, because it'll be awesome. No repeats. I'll just put the Boss EQ back in normal lead boost mode. Look at this. This is pretty awesome. Gas to 800 a little bit and put everything else pretty much flat, right? So you got, here's like normal Nobles. The way it fills out the sounds, it's great for leads. This is another amazing pedal, the Son of Kong. You know, it's like Arthur Slopeman's pedal. This thing's incredible. It's like a really fancy sort of parametric EQ. You can get a great sound, and you can sort of dial in just the perfect amount of like open top end on it. Like it's like if I'm check this out. Glistening high end. This pedal will do all kind of stuff. It'll do crazy, like sort of Zappa-esque sort of distortion. But I just love the clarity that it adds, like an EQ.
You know, it's
EQ
interesting. You don't really, with the exception of the EQ, you really don't hit the amp very hard volume-wise with any of these overdrives.
No, man. I mean, the Rat does, right? We've all.
Well, it's a Rat.
Yeah, I love Rats, you know, but.
Yeah.
Really particularly great Rat too. They're all different. I love this
right.
one. One of my all-time favorite pedals is the Dispatch Master. Amazing delay reverb combo, right?
Yeah.
You can turn the delay off with that.
Yeah, the
Spooky
earthquake. Okay, that's great. So that's covered the drives, and then we're getting into kind of the sparkly bits over here, the swirlies and the sparklies.
Yeah, I mean, you use the Pog and what everybody uses, and the Leslie.
Yeah, okay, let's hear, okay, so after your drives, you've got the Leslie, the Pog, the Dispatcher. Let's hear that Leslie, the Strymon Lex.
I like this particular Leslie box. I've tried every one of them. The reason I like that one the most because it's the only one to me that sounds good at slow speed.
Oh.
They all sound good at fast speed, right? But they all sound weird at slow speed. Most of them. This one sounds really good at slow speed, I think. I mean, this is my opinion, but it's pretty good slow speed, and that's only in mono. I mean, if it was in stereo, it'd be way better. You can put a little preamp drive on that too.
That's killer.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's a good pedal.
Yeah.
And then obviously the old VV2.
Right. So is that one of the old ones?
Yeah, I love this pedal. Shake.
Yeah, they just reintroduced like a Waza version of that, Boston.
Yeah, these are awesome, man. Slow rates, high depth. In my humble opinion, the best delay pedal that money can buy, no matter what you spend, is the Strymon Brigadier. I mean, it's just for me personally. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about great delay pedals. I mean, I've goofed around with old Memory Mans and stuff, and I love old Memory Mans, but I'm done with them. They're more maintenance than a tape echo, you know.
God, I know, man.
And
they're huge and they're buzzy.
I mean,
and
they make noise and they're great sounding. I love them, but man, I'm done with them. I've recently sold 3 of them to the same guy.
Really?
Yeah.
True nut.
Yeah, I'm just done with them.
Yeah.
So, but this is an amazing pedal, and obviously the Line 6 is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So delay wise, you've got the Strymon.
Yeah, I love the delays in the Line 6.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I love like these analog ones like this
Now,
one.
there's like a mod a bunch of people are doing to the M9.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, the Jack Vaughn thing. He goes in and cleans up the audio signal a little bit. They're a little clearer when he gets done with them. They're great sounding.
Made a big difference.
Yeah, I love that. What's that delay? Great delay. It's got a little mod.
Now, do you primarily use this for the delay or just all the other
everything.
weird stuff?
Reverbs are great.
Yeah.
Chorus.
So you basically have these set on a few favorites for each and then flip through them like a
like
box.
it's got a good rotary. The Pog's amazing. I particularly like to use the Pog for like only octave up. Like if you take everything off, right, and you take your dry signal down and you just use the +1 octave a little bit, and like put a bunch of effects and things but. cool. And then, obviously, this is the best sounding guitar pedal ever made, in my humble opinion. This is like putting your guitar in IMAX.
Right.
But it's
the
a total
H9,
tweaker pedal. I mean, I use the phone to control the Bluetooth.
Oh, the whole, the full nerd.
I don't even know what it's set on now. You can only get one sound at a time, but God, this thing is amazing. Let's see what it's doing right now.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Turn everything else off.
Okay.
I don't know what I was on, what kind of drugs I was on, but, you know, when I did that. But, you know, man, this thing is incredible. I mean, I've seen guys that have like 3 or 4 of those on the same pedal board, and I see why, because they're incredible. I mean, this is the best, literally, the most awesome sounding effect pedal I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
That thing is incredible. No wonder they're so expensive, because they should be.
Yeah, right.
It's great.
Now, and the expression pedal, is that for the Line 6?
Yeah, that's for the Line 6, but I hardly ever use that.
Right.
I really rarely ever use that. I got a bunch of other pedals and things, like I've got a whole drawer full of old vintage pedals and things.
Swap in
But yeah, swap
as needed.
in, you know. Like, you know, it's a great pedal. I'll tell you, no one knows about this, but this thing is mind-blowing. This French pedal called the Collision Devices Black Hole Symmetry. God, man.
Yeah, that one's under the radar, man.
This thing is so, it's like a...
Oh yes, Collision Devices,
Dude,
of course, the French one.
This is like a, you know that band Explosions in the Sky? That amazing
I
band?
don't.
This sounds like a finished Explosions in the Sky record in a box.
Reference I don't know, but I love the name. How can it be bad?
Yeah, the old original whammy pedal, and then, you know. Here's one more thing I'll mention.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's it, Tom. You kind of have to have every flavor just in case, right?
These old Boss EQs, right?
Right.
Back when I had my music store, some guy brought one of these in. He wanted to sell, and I was like, oh yeah, just make sure it works. And I was goofing around with it, and I just happened to turn the level control all the way up. You know, because you're supposed to be unity gain at 5, and
Sure.
I couldn't. I was like, God, that's like one of the coolest distortion sounds I've ever heard. It's got this amazing, like, it sounds like an old Aerosmith record, like the rhythm guitars.
Really?
So the distortion is amazing, even if you don't even use the EQ at all. And then I started looking around. I was like, man, this is cool. And I didn't know if it was just that guitar or amp I was using at the time. I started using it on everything, and it sounds amazing for distortion.
Yeah.
Right? So then I started researching, and guess who else used to use one of those for distortion? Eddie, in the early days.
Really, Van Halen?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, man.
Is there any other Eddies?
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
No, there's that
man.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cal, well, tell them that's so cool. And the only other one is that boost over
Yeah,
there.
man. Well, you know, the Mason Vertex this is a great idea, right? Like, instead of having to use an old school volume pedal, which always kills a lot of signal. I don't care who makes it. All these volume pedals, like the Ernie Balls.
Is that the Dunlop?
Yeah, this is an expression pedal, though. It's not. There's no audio going through it. The audio is coming from that box, right?
Really?
Yeah, that was. He told me it was Mike Landau's idea, which it probably was. It's a great idea. So you use that as like just a regular old clean boost pedal, which is a good, really good boost. I'll show you.
Right.
Here's like. But then, even with the pedals on or off, it doesn't matter. It still functions. You plug the TRS cable into the expression port, and then just the volume pedal is always working on it, expression mode on
That
TRS.
is so clever. So
really
you
cool.
don't
You
have
never seen
that.
one of these?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know that they ran out like
Yeah,
that.
it's amazing. And I should also give a shout out to XTS, who made this pedal board.
Those guys are great.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Man.
Those nerds will
God.
chase down a...
Man, I mean, I don't know,
Everything.
like, I don't know what I would do without Barry.
Yeah.
He's just a wizard. I constantly bring him all these horrible ideas, and he somehow makes them work. He's incredible.
How many boards have those guys built for you?
Man, so many.
Like your tour board.
Yeah, and
Because they did one of my boards recently.
Yeah,
and
so many. And this board I've had forever, and it has never failed.
Huh.
Never. I've used this thing on a million records. It's never failed. I shouldn't say that because now it will. Right?
Yeah. And power-wise, you're using the Voodoo Labs and the...
Whatever they got on there. I don't even know. I just know it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vertex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those guys are amazing. XTS, man.
Yeah. Great,
Yeah.
great, very exacting nerds.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Wow, that is really clever, though, to take the volume pedal
Yeah.
out of the
Great.
loop.
It's really great. And it works whether the pedal's on or off, which is cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Really
that.
good idea.
Oh, that's too cool. But take us boot to bonnet on this thing. Now, who built it?
XTS built this pedal board.
They're the guys.
They're the guys, man. They know everything. And I'm going to apologize to them in advance for this one thing. I had a unit go down and had to just throw something in here. This is not as they built it in one area. Yeah. We'll get to that.
Isn't that
It's
funny?
at the end of the chain.
When they make a pedal board for you, you feel kind of weird about changing it.
I know.
like mine, I changed some stuff, and I'm like, now it's not as good.
Yeah, I've tried a couple of times to change little things, and I've always gone back to what we did originally with this.
Right.
And we're in the long process of me building a newer board, which is why I didn't feel compelled to I've been slammed lately, and this Line 6 M5 quit working on me in the middle of a session.
Oh, right.
So I just had to throw something else there for now, and so I apologize to Barry. He's probably going to see this and go like, "That's not my work," But anyway, so they built this. So I'll try and get the signal chain accurately. Let's see. We go in through this little junction box, which starts the signal with this basic audio Scarab Deluxe fuzz pedal. That's been on my boards for a long time. I have 3 or 4 different boards, and that's usually the go-to fuzz that I like. I have a million other fuzzes that I love, but this one it can do a lot of different fuzz sounds.
Yeah.
And it's got tone knobs that I can help the fuzz fit in better with a dense track. And then that goes to the original RC Booster. Have you ever heard of any of those pedals? That nobody ever has those.
Oh, RC boosters, yeah.
I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
So I do use it a lot of the times, like other people around here use it, or other people I see, as a clean boost. But I actually like the overdrive on it. I will crank that gain up. It kind of sounds amp-like to me, like a Fender on about 5 or 6. Or something.
Yeah, well, and because you're getting such a great, like, tubey, almost dirty tone anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a little push.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's great. Now, we go to, I believe, the Ibanez Distortion pedal.
Yeah.
I have been using this pedal for probably 25 years.
God, before they were crazy, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of these because they aren't the most sturdy thing in the world. The jacks go out. The switches are dodgy. The pots.
They had no idea they were going to be around forever.
Right.
I think when they made them, they just like were making a.
Yeah.
They had no idea they would become a standard of the industry.
And when they came out, they probably were more sturdy, but now they're old. You know?
Right.
But so I discovered that pedal when I used to play with Delbert McClinton through Leroy Parnell.
Oh.
And I bought these every time they came up on eBay with a buy it now, and I think I probably own like 15 of these things, and I bought them all for like under $100 because nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward to when I started getting session work. I wasn't the only player using this, but this is the pedal that I used on everything, like all the early Lady A records, all the just all the records that I was playing on at that time. I just use this all the time, and I get a lot of questions about this because they're so expensive now. Other people are making good versions of this. I'd like to show you these.
Yeah, let me show
so
these.
the white one, the 2 white ones.
Okay,
the
2 white ones.
White pedals.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I get asked about this a lot. What is a good version of the Moss Distortion that you don't have to spend whatever $600 to $800 on? So my buddy Greg Droman makes the Karma.
Great producer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Fleetwood Mac produced Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. And so he found out about this pedal because I got hired to play on a Randy Houser record that he was engineering. And he kept going, what are you using? What are you using? I love that tone. And I kept showing him this pedal. Well, he went out and bought one. And then when he saw that they were starting to get expensive or hard to find, he thought, well, I'll just make them. And so he modeled this. He kept sending me versions of it, and he finally got it. This sounds great.
No, that's the bass. He made the bass one and the guitar one, and the bass.
Yes.
Yeah, and the bass one you feel is a little closer.
Oh, is this the bass one? Ha! I didn't even notice that I grabbed the bass one. I like them both.
Yeah,
that is the truth.
I've got them both too, and I can't choose. I know they're different, but I don't really prefer one to the other.
I don't either. But I meant to show you the regular one, but I guess this is the one that's migrated to my my case here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Greg, you nailed it on both of them.
Yeah.
Good for
You
buddy.
did. I mean, and he also makes a great Nobles clone now too, and those have gotten insanely expensive. And then this other guy reached out to me and wanted to do the same thing. He was like, I know you use the Moss Distortion a lot. I make this thing, and this is the Apollo Audio Devices Sawdust. And man, I gotta say, this sounds great too and captures the essence of what that pedal does. And then if you do have an old Moss Distortion that you just want to rehouse, there are lots of people here in Nashville that do those. I have a couple of mine rehoused by Justin Butler. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know his name, but I haven't met him.
He does a great rehouse on these things, and it doesn't lose the tone, and it's more sturdy. So yeah. There are options now,
right?
So that's a good thing.
That's cool. I love seeing Greg's pedal.
I know. What a great guy.
Well, and I think the fact that he's such a great engineer, it's just a testament to his ears. He's heard a lot and knew what he wanted.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, the Moss Distortion has gotten pretty famous on people's pedal boards now.
And the funny thing is, after this interview, they'll be even harder to find.
Maybe so.
That's true. I mean, this stuff actually, it does affect stuff.
Yeah. I know.
Somebody will mention something that's kind of an outlier, and suddenly they're gone from reverb.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've experienced that on the losing end many times.
Right.
Okay, so I've got this sort of a Klon type of pedal. It's made by Arc Effects. And it's I've had this for a long time, but the difference between this and other ones that were maybe out at the time, there's probably a million of these that do this. It has a bass boost switch, which is more felt than heard. It's very subtle, but it does make a little bit of a difference. I had an original Klon back in the day for about 2 hours. I loved it, I guess, but a friend of mine loved it more than I did and talked me out of it, and whatever. But anyway, all these years later, I do appreciate that sound more now as I record, because it does have a different thing than a tube screamer or something else that when you can't quite hear your sound in the headphones because maybe there's a little bit too much low end or something, this changes that, shifts it over. It seems to shift it over a little bit to where there's just a little less of the low end, and it just shoots through the mix a little bit.
Isn't that interesting how it's like it's usually about what you take away, right?
That's right. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, I was doing a session with a younger guitar player who kept going, how are you getting so forward in the mix? And I said, well, a lot of times I dump the bass all the way off on my amp. Do you ever do that? And I think as guitar players, sometimes we need to hear that's what somebody did,
right?
Because we don't think that's what we should do.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it seems like, oh, it's gonna sound too thin. It's gonna sound too thin. But man, I can't tell you how many times like that's the problem.
Right.
Dump the bass, get rid of the low end, and then all of a sudden, like by itself, it sounds thin, but in the track, it fits.
Yeah, that's the trick. Because in the room, it might sound amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of times taking less gain sounds more powerful.
Right.
You know. Like
yeah.
AC/DC didn't have a lot of
I
gain.
was just thinking about that. They were not that dirty.
The ultimate example of that.
Yeah.
You know, powerful sound, but not in a rock band.
The rock band.
The rock band.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did a ballad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay, cool. Okay,
so
what's the final dirt pedal?
Okay.
Here's what I propose. Let's hear this final one and then go hear them all down the line.
Run through so you got okay, so the Analog Man, King of Tone.
Yeah.
Very popular out there in the world.
Now very hard to find.
Luckily enough, I started onto these before they were very hard to get, and I have a few of them because I need them on different boards to go places. But I love this pedal. I was always I'm not a tube screamer hater. I've always liked tube screamers and dislike them at the same time for a lot of the same reasons that a lot of people will cite. This kind of scratches that itch in a better way for me with more amps. Sometimes I still pull out a tube screamer at home, but here in the studio, this is where I go for anything in that kind of gain range. So that's the gain part of this.
You know, it seems like that's the toughest pedal, right? To get that sort of clean, sort of dirty thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so song dependent.
Yeah.
Like every single song, that's what I cycle through more than anything else. Like I usually know the guitar, usually know the amp, and if I need a little bit more hair that I want from a pedal, I have these all hooked up to on-off switches.
Oh yeah. Well, let's hear. Let's start with that fuzz and let's unleash hell there.
All right. Let's see what we get.
First
and of course, it does this thing where it's not working. The switches get dirty on these. Okay, so that's cool, but this has a bias knob, and I use this a lot. So like with a little bit of slapback on it, like it gates out.
Oh, Rob, that's great.
Isn't that cool?
That is so weird.
Like, it does that, and that's cool for like a part in a song. It's
right.
Like a little ear candy.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that's the fuzz.
That's the fuzz. Here's the here's my bass tone.
Yeah.
Somebody should make a shirt for guitar players. Here's my bass. So clean to the amp. Here's the RC boost with a little bit of. If you notice, I don't have a compressor on this board. I kind of use this a little bit like a compressor. It does something that a compressor kind of does without compressing it.
Yeah.
So that's more the traditional way you would use it, cleaner side of it. But if you want to get into like something that's a little bit more like bluesman territory or like I'm not even in the reverb amp. I'm dumb. Okay, all right, here we go.
Well, you've got a lot of amps going on.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, that's great. It's like Tony Joe White. That's cool.
And I love Tony Joe White. That's
Right.
that's some great stuff. So and then let's go to the Distortion. That's just a nice straight ahead overdrive.
Right, very subtle. I mean,
it's-
yeah.
I use it mostly that way, but you can get into like some more. It's just never. The clarity is what I like about that pedal and makes it so usable. It's never in the way of anything. And then if it is, you've got treble, mid, and bass knobs that you can cycle through or change. So here's the sort of Klon pedal. Not too different than the Distortion on the settings it's on. But
Yeah.
but you can get a little more teeth.
Right.
There, and then the Analog Man, the yellow side, is sort of like just a warm, kind of a boost with a little hair. I'm realizing how much I kind of just sound the same on a lot of stuff.
Well,
But if you turn that gain up a little bit, it gets a nice rhythm tone, like, get sort of Stonesy. And then the red side is, I don't know, I guess I kind of use that a lot for slide. If you don't mind, hand me that slide that's sitting back there.
Oh, yeah, right. There
we
you go.
This isn't a guitar that I typically would play slide on.
do you want a different one? I can.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch
Hand me
of
that
guitars.
355.
Rob.
Let's see. Let's
Excellent
hear
choice.
that guy.
I wanted to hear this thing. I want to hear those PAFs sing a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the telly, but
Yeah.
let's see
Telly's.
what that's
Telly's.
doing.
Yeah. We love a telly. We love all of it. But like if you get into a little bit of slide, like.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's just perfect.
Yeah. Now, what slide are you using?
Oh, okay. This is the rock slide. I just recently discovered this. I don't know if you're like this. How many slides do you think you own?
Thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how many I own.
Yeah.
I mean, I have tried so many different things, and I always kind of came back. I used to use this Chorus Eden bottle, Dwayne style slide.
Right.
It was a real one, and it has a great tone to it. But it was too big always for my fingers, so I just struggled with it for years. Well, this company makes these cool slides that have these sort of ergonomic features. I don't know if you can see this, but they round that out so you kind of, that's where you wear it on your knuckle, so you can actually bend your finger and it's not sticking way up here.
Yeah, that's great.
There's a little indent here on the side where I'm not good at this, but it is there. You can kind of hold it in place with your adjacent finger, I don't know. As soon as I played it, it just solved a lot of my issues that I had to work around all the time to play slide. Like, it doesn't go flying off my fingers when I go back to playing chords or lead, regular lead in the middle of it. It's snug. it I don't know, man. It works for me, and I'm really happy that I found out about this.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Anyway.
And it's as similar as some of these sound. When you've got headphones on, and you're really, I mean, that's the thing. They sound similar with your cabinet in the other room, but I'm sure that you get that whole nuance thing.
Oh yeah,
when you're
definitely
in your environment.
Yeah. Like this is very strange for me, for my sound to be like away from me.
Right. Usually it's in your head.
Yeah. Right. But that's the basic drive part of this pedal board.
That's very cool. Very cool to have all those different flavors.
Yeah.
Okay, and then over on the left side, it's the weird stuff.
Yeah. The color stuff, I guess. So I have this Electro Harmonix Pog 2, and I mean, I don't use it all that much, but there's I have a bunch of different sounds kind of programmed in there, but there's one that I use, and it sounds better than the newer versions to me. I would love to find something smaller that did this the same way.
Right.
But it just I haven't found it yet.
Well, let's hear that magic weird tone.
Okay, all right, here it comes. And this is a sound that at the beginning of, if anybody out there knows the Lainey Wilson song, Things a Man Ought to Know.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't take
it's
that.
It's a big hit.
Yeah, a big hit. So the beginning of that song, everybody thinks it's a keyboard.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Oh wow. That's cool.
And that's just 2 octaves up. You know, it's like this way up in the stratosphere. So, in a chorus, if somebody, we have keyboard players on every session most of the time, so they're usually taking up that part of the mix.
Yeah.
But when they're not, and there's like a nice, you can get way up in the stratosphere and have this nice, cool, like little texture. So I've used that sound on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wish I could find something. That's mostly what I use that pedal for.
That's cool. Well, it's funny. I did the CMT Awards with Lainey when that was her first single.
Yeah.
It was the first one she played, and we just had the keys kind of.
Yeah.
I didn't know it.
I've watched that happen on award shows. Maybe it was the one you're talking about. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They think it's a keyboard. I love it.
Yeah, I think our B3 did something weird up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, close enough.
Yeah. Well, it is close enough. I mean, really. I mean, but that's that. And of course, I've got the EQ pedal. That's one of the best pedals ever made. It's so important.
No, and you've got the Analog Man mod to it, right?
Yes.
So they, I don't know what they do, but I know that's a very common mod. I've got the pre-mod version of that, which is very noisy, and maybe that's one of the things they fixed.
Yeah, it is a little less noisy. It's funny. I got onto this graphic EQ pedal very early on. When I was probably like 18 or something. I don't know why. I don't remember anything about that, but I got it, and the amount of gain you can get with that slider.
Oh yeah.
It was like, I didn't know that like people like Eddie Van Halen were using these to boost their signal or whatever. It just like all of a sudden I sounded a little bit more famous. It was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I shaped the tone drastically, but I have 400 boosted here. I've started to a friend of mine, Chris Donegan. He's another studio guitar player, and Justin Niebank. We both work with that engineer a lot, and like, okay, what frequency should we be boosting for solos? Like, which do you want, or what do you boost when you mix stuff? And he was like, 400. Before he could even finish the sentence. Yeah.
Wow.
Which I would not have thought.
No.
I would have thought it would have been closer to
mids. Yeah. I would have thought.
He was like 400.
Wow.
And so I've been trying that a little bit, and I'll be damned if he wasn't right. Like in the headphones, you can really hear the solo has a lot of command in that frequency. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's his thing.
Yeah.
But I do all kinds of crazy stuff with this. Like I like to really dump a lot, like only mids, and like do like a part that's like, let me turn it on. Or like if you want to get like sort of in like a more of a like.
That's cool.
That kind of thing.
Have you ever tried the one up, one down dobro thing?
No, what is that?
It's just like that. You go like one all the way up, one all the way down, and
All the way through?
all the way through, and it's weirdly dobro-ish. I
Okay.
don't know. Try right now.
Like-
Let's see what it does.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're
Right? Yeah, it's. I run a dobro through it a lot to make it sound like a dobro. Yeah, right.
I mean, that's obviously done with slide, but well, I'm never changing it now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, very versatile.
so there's that.
Weird pedal.
Yeah. And then we go to, I guess, probably this Boss vibrato pedal, which you've already heard me use a couple times throughout.
Yeah, man.
and
That's so cool. And that's the Waza.
That's the Waza version.
Yeah.
I have an old one at home, and they do have a little bit of a hiss to them. And
Right.
I think that this sounds exactly like it. Now, I got onto this because, you know Al Anderson from
Oh, yeah,
NRB?
of course,
So he uses these pedals a lot, and we're Lonnie Mac freaks. And Magnetone was the way Lonnie Mac got that sound, those Magnetone amps. But this is that in a box.
Huh.
But it does a lot more. I mean, I used it on the slower speed. You can hear that waver.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into Lonnie Mac,
Yeah, right.
And you're
Yeah.
off to the races with that, which, I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, then we go to, I've got the Strymon Timeline pedal. That is, I've had those, I bought these, this is probably from the first run. I as soon as I saw this pedal was coming out, at the time, it was so important to have a delay pedal that was in time to the BPMs of the track.
Right. Yeah.
And this was the easiest thing that I could do that with because it has a BPM display. And
Sure.
you can pick the note value and all this stuff. So there's no margin for error on that kind of music where everything is so locked to the grid or whatever, But nowadays, I don't even think about that very often. And
Isn't
a
that
lot of times,
interesting?
yeah,
Yeah.
the trends have changed.
It was so unforgiving. And I think it's when people were mixing, like engineers were mixing with their eyes rather than their ears and lining everything up.
Yeah. I mean, it's strange when you hear yourself on a record and it doesn't sound like the day you left
Right.
the session. It got a little less greasy.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sounds like I'm saying something bad. I get it. It's pop music a lot of times. It's not the personality of how we all groove isn't a lot of times the most valuable thing on that kind of music, and they lock things to the grid, and that's whatever they need to do. But nowadays we're kind of getting back to a little bit more organic feel, and so a lot of times I'll ask them what the tempo of the song is just to make sure I'm not I don't have a delay that's faster than the tempo. I like things that lay back, so like if they tell me, oh, we're at 82 or whatever, I'll dial it back to like 80, and it's just kind of this thing that washes away better in the background of the track. I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of a more of a melty sound.
It is interesting though that trend. Like I remember when we did Steve Lukather's Rig Rundown. Arguably one of the greatest studio players of all time. I mean, just an amazing talent. And his rig, he had, I got a short delay and I got a long delay.
Yeah.
And he didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, okay.
Yeah, well,
What am I worried about?
I mean, and like if I've got tape echoes, so at home I don't worry about this, but I can't be taking those things all over the place. You'll show up and it won't work. Or a deluxe memory man. Those things, the delay time isn't as important because they have a way of melting into the sound and not creating this super rhythmic thing that distorts the tempo for a pop track.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. The Strymon, I know it's on everybody's board. I know everybody uses it, but we use it because it gets there. It gets the results quickly, and it does sound good. You can get as weird as you want with this box. So there's that, and then we go over to the Strymon Mobius, which I think is. I love this pedal because the phasers are great. The flangers are great. The chorusing is great. The tremolos are great. I mean, there's all kinds of weird, freaky stuff you can do with this too. The Leslie sound is great.
Huh.
I mean, to me, if you get, this is like, let me dial it to where the switch will do the slow, change the speed. It sounds realistic.
Right, it ramps up and ramps down.
It does it kind of realistically. I have a real Leslie cabinet at home, and this kind of, I feel like this gets as close to that as you can. Nothing's exactly like that. I don't want people to think that I don't know the difference or that there isn't a difference. There is, but this isn't, however many hundreds of pounds.
Yeah.
And it fits, and you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we go over to the Strymon Flint reverb and tremolo pedal. I love the tremolo on this. I have a love-hate relationship with the reverb on it, but as I said, that would normally be a Line 6 M5, which is you can have the Line 6 M9. It's a single pedal version of all the things in the Line 6. Well, the thing I rely on that most for is probably reverbs, as far as in relation to everything else.
Because they've got everything.
It's got everything, and there's a lot of great things in the Line 6 stuff. I love the Line 6 M9, and I like the HX effects too. My new pedal board will probably have the HX effects on it, but this is something that I've just been using until I have all the new board, or in place of the M9 right now. It's got really good reverbs. It does, but the spring reverb, if I need that, I go to the Deluxe.
Right.
That's the real thing.
Do you find that you generally have, like when you're through the Deluxe, do you always have a little bit of verb going through it? Or do you ever just leave it just dry?
Oh yeah, totally. I do leave it dry a lot. Probably more often than not. But when it does call for some reverb, no one ever gets mad about the spring reverb in the amp.
Right. To me, it's just such a confidence builder to hear a little bit of it all the time. It's just so...
Okay, when you first put on headphones and try to play, it's the weirdest thing because you have no room sound.
Yeah, right.
And all the guitar sounds that I love, typically, unless it's a direct sound, there's some kind of room miking involved.
Right, yeah.
And so we like to have that.
Yeah.
And there are great plugins that they can put, that I sometimes will have an engineer put that on just to give me a little bit of space, but they may want it dry in the final product or something. But it's such a blanket.
Man.
I love reverb, and if I play live, it usually comes down to what amp has reverb. That's the one I want. But we can hear that. This. That's not bad at all.
No, great.
That's not bad. It really does sound good. And the longer reverbs and the more the 80s style reverb, if you want a real lush thing like this, you can get that. If you're doing a really long,
Oh yeah.
dreamy. it does have some good stuff in there. I know there's a million other great reverb pedals. I have a bunch at home, but that's what's on here right today, this second. So let's turn that off, and why did this stop working? This isn't even powering on. Oh, the power cord got yanked, sorry.
Yeah, I'm no engineer, but.
Yeah, the Bluetooth on this analog delay pedal. Okay, so that's a little drastic on the. So everybody loves a Memory Man pedal.
So this is the Diamond Memory Lane.
Diamond Memory Lane. These have been out a long time. I don't even know if they still make these. So they probably make them in a smaller box, different thing now, I guess. This is one of the OGs. Nice modulation.
Yeah.
It's very Memory Man-esque. Not a replacement, but a good alternative. And
probably way quieter.
Quieter.
Yeah.
And if you have the power cable in, it works every time.
Right.
So, great slap back.
Oh, yeah. Hey, y'all, I'm John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. So our rig rundowns for a long time now have been sponsored by D'Addario. And I'm thrilled to be using the D'Addario Expand pedalboard. I've got this little guy that fits in my gig bag, and like many of you, I'm changing pedals all the time. I love having a board that can shrink as I'm shrinking my board or expand as I'm expanding it. And that's why I love the Expand pedal board. Their patented telescoping technology lets me instantly change the size of my pedals playground. It also features a unique cable management system and comes fitted with loops of Velcro, keeping everything neat and easy to swap. The two Expand versions comes with either 1 or 2 rows, depending on your needs. So a big thanks to D'Addario. Now, let's get back to more rig rundowns. Cool, okay, and then on the floor, you got everything.
Yeah, that was the plan.
So what do you use? What's your main sound, and what are you kind of going for? What do you find?
Man, I kind of look at it as being sort of in different quadrants, in the sense of like, this is my 80s world up here,
okay,
with my 2 choruses. This is fuzz world over here. This is Jack White fun indie rock noise.
Yeah, the Pog 3
world with the Pog 3, the Swollen Pickle, and the Bitquest. It's my favorite pedal of all time, by the way.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
I got it. Okay, let's.
It's just an awesome fuzz that does crazy awesome things. And then it's got like a delay in it.
I did not expect that.
It's just got all these like... The dude who made it, like... He just had leftover parts from like other pedals, and he threw it all into this.
So
and
what's it called?
Bitquest, and it's made by Dr. Scientist. It's a Canadian builder who's awesome, and yeah, and just was like put it in a pedal, and he put it out. This was one of the very first ones, and then they were in production now because they kind of ended up being popular.
Wow.
I know a ton of people who bought them, but just the fuzz by itself is just really usable. It's like, yeah, it's got a little more tightness on the low end than a Big Muff. You know, it's like you can just rock a solo with it.
That's great. Okay, so the fuzz section.
Yeah, and then the great compressor here, Bondi Effects, Australian company.
Oh.
It's a killer compressor with a blend knob. But
it's called Squish.
Squish Az. It's
Squish
like,
Az.
It's like Squish Az, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got another one.
Squish AF. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the American version for sure.
Yeah.
That thing's awesome. This is like my Nashville section. with the HX and the Lightspeed and the ODR1 and the King of Tone. I feel like everyone has this same combination of pedals.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not out of choice. I think it just genuinely is like pound for pound. I've tried so many other combos and I've tried to get away from this setup just because I like didn't want to have what everyone else had. But like when it really comes down to it, like these three are just, as far as like for utility purposes, like this is the best sounding like overdrives you can. And I'll be doing this all the time. Like I'm like, nope. I'm like, yep, nope. Like I'm just trying to find like what works. Like sometimes it's like that together, or like sometimes it's like this and this. Like it's not like oh, this is my boost, this is my lead pedal, this is my. It just kind of works with like whatever, and I'll play and I'll tweak amp settings and all that stuff. And
yeah, it really is like blending colors, you know.
That's
like,
exactly it. Yeah, and. I don't know if I'm just used to these sounds from hearing them on so many records, but
well, I mean now because of you're playing them on so many records,
right,
we're all hearing them on so many records. Yeah.
This thing's really underrated. These little blue Bogner pedals.
See,
Yeah,
Bogner.
it'll do like that Bogner ecstasy thing, but I never got one of those amp heads because it scared me. There's so many switches and stuff on it. Like it's
and they're really expensive.
Yeah, you know, it just does the heavy amp thing if you need it.
Sure. Okay, and on the H90, what is that control thing you've got? Is that like part of it?
Yeah, it's just an add-on made by a different company, and it does bank up and down effects. So I have it programmed to where it just basically I'm going up and down. I've had the same like 15 sounds on the Eventide for like probably 15 years now. I got one of the H9s kind of early, and it just became such a part of my sound. It started when I was out on the road, because I needed to be able to like put my set list in with delay tempos.
Sure.
You know, I'd just have like song 1, song 2, and everything would be synced up with tempo. And so I'd just be able to bank through after each song. Just I could program it, and I love I was playing with a lot of different artists, so I'd be able to have the artist set list in my phone, transfer it to the old H9, and everyone kind of figured that trick out. Like, but I ended up living with the sounds, and they just became such a part of like. A lot of it was me trying to recreate reverbs that were post-production things on records, where they'd have a like this one Thunderverb. I've had this. This was from a song called Thunder, that was a song by an artist that I played like 12, 13 years ago. And I just called it Thunderverb because I was trying to recreate the reverb on the lead part on the song. And it just lived as part of I use that all the time now, it's just part of the sound.
Well, so these are the actual settings from your old H9 that you've just downloaded onto this new, and the H90 is essentially two of them?
You can run multiple algorithms, which I'm not doing really yet. There's a couple new ones that I've made over the years where I was like, oh, it'd be really nice to have a chorus setting in between the verbs and the weird stuff. But, where I found this to be really useful was like the BPM based stuff, which has kind of become such a part of my sound. Like on records, I'll always get the tempo from the engineer. I'll find out where we're at. I'll be like, what's the tempo? They'll be like, okay, like 118. I'll put it in there. This is sending MIDI tempo to the line 6 at all times as well.
Oh, that's
so we got
so everything is in sync together. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So I could do like a quarter note delay, a dotted delay, and a rhythmic filter. It takes 5 seconds for me to pull that up. I'm not having to dial it in. I got like. Just stuff like that.
It's so cool. And to pull it up immediately.
Immediately, that's the trick. And then I've figured this out too. I found out a way to do BPM tremolo, and there's a setting in here where you can re-trigger it. So if you got a click track in your ear, you can basically, and you gotta kind of practice with this, and I kind of figured it out, like getting the downbeat, like
Right on it.
so they don't have to send MIDI, and you don't need a cable, you don't need to edit it, like.
But to pull that off, it's almost like building a loop pedal. Like you gotta
Absolutely.
get right on
Yep.
it.
Same exact like concept, but I'll cue, like, this is why I love having a board like this, because I'll cue up like a bunch of different stuff. Like I'll cue up like a trem sound that'll be like, okay, this is gonna be like my second verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that, and the tempo's already in, so anything that I do on here is gonna be already saved, set to that tempo. Like it's like, I guess they call it like a global clock. So I'll have a bunch of stuff like this. Like I'll do like an intro thing where I'll have like a filtered out like that's my intro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we get to like big intro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's like already, it's like doing the job of like 2 or 3 guitar parts, like, and then get to the verse to so much of what I do is like it all happens in real time, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like I'm not like doing a lot of like, oh, hold on a minute, I'm gonna change my sound, let me punch in.
Yeah, or I'll do it in another pass or whatever.
Exactly.
Great.
Which is cool. It's like,
oh yeah, man. That makes it so much easier for everybody, you know?
yeah, on record dates, it's you got more time to be able to like dial stuff in, but I love being able to do this because it's just like it'll inspire a lot more. I think it's sort of the closer you can get to like a finished song coming out of the speakers immediately,
right,
the more it's going to put the artist and
well, the whole band
and the band and everyone in that headspace of being able to feel like, okay, this is what this song is going to become. Even if it sounds terrible, even if the execution's bad, like even if the tuning's off or just, you're missing stuff or whatever, you can come back and repair that stuff. You know, it's like, that's what Pro Tools is for. You can go back in and punch, but like, if you can get through the end of the song and be like, okay, they've got something to chew on then. They can be like, hey, that tremolo thing you did in the second verse, like, that's not cool. Everything else was good.
Yeah.
Or they might be like, hey, we love that stuff. Like, let's do more of that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you automatically, like, you're seeding these ideas.
Yeah.
You're not having to be like, man, what can we do on that second verse? So it's like you've already given them 3 ideas.
Right.
Because they might be like, hey, like that filter thing you did on the intro, like, let's do that in, let's do that, like, throughout. You know, like, let's and sometimes I'll be like, okay, give me a 4-bar loop. And they'll just give me a click track and I'll just be like, you know, like... And I'll be like, take that, fly that to verse 1, verse 2, bridge, and down chorus and outro. Or I might just be like, hey, just duplicate it. Just loop it through the whole song. Just give us something like, think of more of like a hip hop approach where it's more hypnotic and more repetitive and like, and then you're helping build the track then. It's like you're assisting the production process rather than just playing guitar. You know, it's like, I love that side of it. It's just so fun. It's like, that's like cracking a code when you kind of got something that's, especially a work tape or a demo where you got like, there's not a lot of ideas there. You just got a great song, you got good lyrics, and you got a good progression.
Right.
And you're just like, how do we like do something cool with this? Like, what if Andy Summers was, playing a Drake song? Right. Or like, and you think like, what would that sound like? What would U2 sound like if you were to mix it with like a 90s country, and then you're just like, okay, I got all that shit here, it's like I've got, that's when someone says words like that, that's like, that's makes me so happy because I can be like, well, I'm immediately going towards this, and that's why I have all this stuff laid out, and I'm not relying too much on like menus. You know what I mean? It's like it's there. It's like that's a preset. Like that's a preset. Like I can easily switch to another bank here if I need to, and I've got a bunch of other stuff there. Like this is all linear. It's just I've got about 30 patches that get used for various things. I mean. There's some weirder stuff in here too, but
Well, and that whole approach that you're doing, that's what makes you such a great studio guy. Because all these great studio guys, when you're in a room with a bunch of musicians and all you see are like numbers, you know, like
Yeah.
you're just given numbers and there's no roadmap,
right.
and you got to figure out what's cool. To have all those, I mean, to come up with those great ideas, God, it's great. You use this so well.
Oh, thanks. It's always a journey, and I like, you know, finding new stuff. And I'm not very technologically proficient when it comes to really getting into these. I'm kind of, it's like you're probably the same way. It's like you know when you find something you just really vibe with, like you just find like a pedal, you're just like, okay, it's like there might only be 2 sounds on it that I really like, but you're like, I love those 2 sounds, so it's going to go on my pedal board. Like I always keep this far. This is like my last point in the chain. That gets rotated. I'll switch it out. Like right now I got that Mobius in there. It's cool. I don't know if it's gonna stay there.
Yeah.
It's just, I just needed some extra inspiration. Just so it's like, oh, I'm gonna find some new sounds. And there's some cool stuff in it. I haven't really gotten into it, and I'll switch it out. I got like a slicer pedal that I really like that goes there, that does other stutter effects. I was using it a little too much a couple years ago, so I took it off because I was hearing stuff on like Spotify, and I was like, ah, shit, I'm doing the same gag on like every song.
Well, under the gun though, a great idea, you know, pops up. You're just so grateful to have it.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I, you know, I have a drawer full of all of that stuff that stays out there that I can, you know. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to my buddy Robin from Norway. Robin Haverkamp is a guitar player from Norway. He's a buddy of mine. He stays with me whenever he comes into town, and he's like me, but like the Norwegian version. He plays on all the country and pop stuff out there, and super cool guy. He comes to town to hang out and write, and he stayed at my place for a couple weeks recently, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I need to redesign my board. I kind of like, I've got, you know, XTS did the build. They kind of did the framework, and I was like, but I need to be able to fit this. I've got this is new, you know, I want to be able to, I've got these new fuzzes and stuff. And he was like, well, I do this. He was like, this is what I do for people in Norway. I build pedal boards, because he's like, we don't have an XTS. Yeah. So I figured it out myself, and he put it all together, wired it for me, and he actually drove down to Muscle Shoals and brought it to my studio while I was down there on a weekend and surprised me. And
it's a good friend.
Yeah, what a cool guy. I mean, and he figured out a bunch of stuff. Like, this is really cool. He was like, he figured out that, he was like, yeah, you don't have to have a volume pedal in your signal chain. He was like, you can do a volume block in this line 6 and have it assignable, so where it's basically an expression pedal that acts as volume, and then if you have other stuff you can assign it to. So like on this patch I have it as a wah, you know?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's like if I need to be Slash for a minute, it's like Slash didn't use a volume pedal, so like,
yeah,
why? There's no need for it, you know. It's just like you just have a solo, and you're just like, all right, like I'm ready to go, like. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, oh, that's great. That's great.
That's sort of my fun mission. There's some really amazing technical minds in this town, and guitar player buddies who have kind of cracked these things and figured out like all this insane stuff that you can do when you get them communicating with MIDI, and you can control like delay feedback and volume at the same time. They do like pedal steel bends and stuff, like, so there's a long list of stuff like that I've got to figure out. That's just rainy day fun activities, you know. If I'm not busy, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to like program a whammy and a delay, you know, just to have it like.
God, yeah. Well, it's so impressive, man. Everything. Well, I mean, you're such a great player, and all of this, just the sounds and the ideas.
That's super cool.
It's really inspiring.
So, XTS, Exact Tone Solutions here in Nashville.
These guys are great.
They're great. Barry and Greg, all those guys, man. They built. I've got 3 boards that they've built for me of various kind of sizes. My main A-rig board that they built for me, I had it for, I do think it was 10 years solid, without ever tweaking it, like without ever changing anything on it. It was always the way.
Impressive, because it's hard not to change it, right?
And And I just kind of, there were a couple things I wanted to change. Well, really, this kind of amp switching thing was the biggest. That was actually the litmus for.
Yeah, let's hear how you're doing that. That's a good.
So they were the one. So I went to those guys and said, "Hey, this is what I would like to do. Can you help me figure out what the best way to accomplish this is?" And they, as they do, they asked me, 100 questions, and 50 of them I had never considered. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm really glad you asked me that, because yeah, that would be important to me." And they talked me into going to this switching rig. So this is the Gig Rig G3 is the company.
Sure.
And I had always been really hesitant to do any kind of switching system like this. I was always a guy that just had a pedal board.
Right.
And in fact, my other two boards don't have any switching on. They're much smaller. But they explained how it was going to work and the layout of it, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. One of the things I like most about it is that there's just not a lot of like hidden screen menus.
Yeah.
It's all still pretty tactile, which I like. But case in point, that was the reasoning for, well, I guess let's do this new board so I can get all this switching figured out. And then it was like, well, and I do have a couple of these other pedals I'd always been keeping on the side, and can we just implement it all, and can we, and again, you look at this big stupid thing and you go, it's like it should be able to, land the space shuttle. This is just such a, it's a luxury, and I'm aware of that. And, my cartage guys, God bless them, Richie and all the dudes at Soundcheck, and they set me up. They get all this stuff to where I need to be to work, and I would have never built something like this if I was trying to put it in my car or whatever.
Right.
You just go, no. In fact, this doesn't even have like a case. It goes inside of one of my trunks, and so just that sort of thing. But the switching thing was really great, and they, the Exactone guys are really great about doing custom interfaces. It's a big part of what they do, and so I've got an interface on the front here that has really 3 amp outlines. It's got a, what I kind of call amp 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then it's got a third line that the intention there is, sometimes I'm tracking a guitar part and the cabinet's in the closet, or it's, in another location and it's mic'd up. But it's cool to have an amp in the room with you, because for feedback or whatever, or sometimes you can turn on the drum room mics and you get a cool room sound. So basically what that enables me to do is I can flip on a combo in the room and send an extra signal to that amp, and it doesn't change anything about the main signal going to my main, really the meat of the guitar sound, right? And so again, via switching, I can, I could be running all 3 at once, but the way I use it
engineers love that.
Yeah, I got it. Well, it did when I kind of did this thing, even me after years of being in town, the first couple times I rolled into studios and I was like, hey, here's what we're going to do. And a couple of the engineers were like, okay, well, why? And I was like, man, just, it'll make sense. Like once you see me do it a couple times, and then, not that it was like some groundbreaking idea, but the implementation of it as a new workflow was different for all of us.
Yeah.
And I was getting used to the switcher and everything. But so, they built that interface, and then all the pedals run into this switcher, and you can, basically just kind of set scenes. And, so this the one switch, I can swap any combination of the amps themselves and the pedals. And so that's that's how I use it.
Yeah.
And man, again, days, the session I was on today for Maren Morris, it was like a lot of the sounds were really organic, and I didn't do any switching. I kind of used, in fact, I played the Tweed Deluxe all day.
Oh, really?
And I didn't really do a lot of switching. I switched guitars around, but it was kind of like, it was all needed to be kind of rootsy guitar, and that's what it called for. And I didn't do a bunch of big scene changes and stuff, but on the days when it's called for, it was just nothing like the old times when I'm trying to like step on 3 pedals going into the verse.
Right. While you're reading a chart. And,
there's that too. There's that too. But really thankful for the XTS guys. They've they've thought of and solved problems before there are ever problems for me. So
Well, take us through it, like boot to bonnet, what's all on here, pedal-wise.
so I'll just go on this top row.
Yeah.
Trusty Rusty Line 6 M9.
God,
I'm
man.
a huge
Everybody has one.
anybody that knows me knows. And I get these questions. I've said this on other interviews, like, do you have it modded? No, it's the stock one. I've got like 4 of these. They're great. They're awesome. They sound great. I've used this thing on more records than I can imagine, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I specifically use the reverbs a lot. There's a couple cool fuzz patches on there, and I've used a lot of the mods and filter stuff. It's just a really great pedal, and it's impossible to get that much stuff. Even on a board like this, the kind of bang for real estate buck that you
Right.
get out of that is unbeatable.
Yeah,
I've
to
done
have-
gigs where I've just taken that. Like I've walked in with a Line 6 and a combo amp, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
So, and I'll come back to this thing in the middle here. I've got my Strymon timeline delay and Strymon Mobius, and I use those exactly how you'd think, delays and modulations. And I just think those pedals sound great. I like the way they work. They're great. This thing in the middle,
Yeah, what's that weird?
yeah, it's called the Mission Expressionator, and it's attached to an expression pedal here. And what this does is it allows me to control any one of these 3 pedals or any combination of those pedals with the one expression pedal.
Oh, well, that's really clever.
Yeah, so if I am wanting to tweak, if I want to use it for delays, which I do a lot, it's set there, and then this is the Mobius, and then this is the M9. And then if I want to tweak like the delay and, open a filter on this at the same time, you just can kind of select a secondary one, or you can select all of them.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and so again, it was kind of a space-saving maneuver, but because I would sometimes, I'll use wahs in this and the M9. I'll use, again, I talk about filter sweep stuff where I was doing delay gags with the expression pedal there, and then I've kind of moved on and use it for all 3 of these for different reasons. Sometimes you want to lengthen a delay trail, and you also want to turn modulation up on the Mobius, and you can kind of set all those parameters. It takes a fair amount of tweaking.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of that stuff so long ago. I'll give you an example. So like the delay, this is a thing that I do a lot, is, let me see here. Oh. So I've got like a little slapback delay on here, right? And then way I've got it set right now is I can control the mix and the repeats with the delay pedal. So I can
Whoa.
right. So you can go that with it, that's the setting I have saved.
Yeah.
But I could also go, or I could go.
Yeah.
And then the other cool thing, that I can do sometimes when I'm playing slide is like, you can control the trail. So you're I also use it as a kind of a live blend because I sometimes just getting the exact right, delay kind of thing on a track. I'm gonna turn the tremolo off on this amp, but so again, that's kind of the sound I've got.
Yeah.
But I can go. So I can control all that stuff with my foot.
It's interesting that you have the heel down.
I know it's
brings
backwards.
it up, and then your volume is heel. So
Let me tell you why I do it that way.
yeah, I want to know.
Because
Counterintuitive.
it's completely counterintuitive, and I've done it this way for years and years and years and years and years. And it's because when it was in the when I had it the traditional way.
Yeah. You feel like you're falling forward?
Well, sometimes no, it had nothing to do with me. Sometimes the drummer or whatever, you get rocking in the room and the pedal would just start to fall.
Right.
And then the delays and stuff would get out of hand. And so I just decided that I want the off position to always be down.
Great idea. Because it's kind
of idiot proof.
Right. In those Dunlops, I find the longer I play them, they lose all that resistance.
And I mean, so many pedals do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just attrition of plastic and metal.
So for me, it was always just kind of like the idea of, and we're doing this stuff fast, and just for the idea of it just being like, it's off.
Yeah.
Like, that was always the way. And again, so yeah, it's very, if you watch me do this with my feet, it's like you're flying a helicopter.
Yeah, right.
But I've done it this way for so long, that it's just ingrained. It's just ingrained in my brain the way it works, So
yeah.
In fact, when they rebuilt this pedal, the pedal board, they were like,
"Do you want it like that?"
Yeah, they literally said that. I go, "Yep, don't change it. Don't leave it exactly how it is," because they would mess my brain up. So,
yeah, that's funny. Okay, so
pedals. Yeah.
Next, micro synth.
Here's a funny story.
Okay.
From old Wheezy here. Yeah. Okay. I bought this pedal because I thought it would be cool. Tried it out I bought it online, tried it at my house, thought it's cool, I'll use this.
Yeah.
I'd had a Pog on my board for years and was just kind of like, feel like I've done everything I can do with this pedal, I'm mix it up,
Yeah.
Had him put it on this board. It worked for one day, and it doesn't even work. It won't pass signal when it's on. So I have never used this pedal on a session.
Harmonics, if you're listening, send this man a new one.
Well, the good thing is the footprint of these pedals, I could certainly swap it out for some other stuff, but by the time, and I couldn't return it because they had already, it's got Velcro on it and everything. So I was like, well, all right.
Yeah.
So
it looks so good.
It looks awesome. It sounded awesome for about a day. For about 3 hours, it sounded awesome. So that's it. Peterson Strobo tuner, just the best tuners ever.
Sure, love them.
I'm a big fan.
Did you ever use any of their sweetening stuff?
I never did. That was one Pandora's box. I just thought better left.
Sure.
It's got, in Spinal Tap when they're like, the police said best leave that unsolved.
Right.
That was kind of how I felt about that. I fight tuning enough. I don't need to get into any extra.
Yeah, right.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, let 440 be 440.
At least for me, MXR bass compressor. I think they've actually renamed these now.
Oh, really?
But when I got this thing years and years and years ago, it was kind of pitched to me as like, this is their version of an 1176 in a box, which we all know is not true. But this is a really transparent, really, really clean sounding, what I would call a studio, an outboard gear style compressor.
Sure. And it never, nothing, I think it's been, have you been running this much here? Because I had nothing to sound compressed.
No, it's not, no, I haven't had it in the chain at all.
Because I thought, that's really transparent.
Well, it is though, and it's, because, here, I will show you, it is really transparent. See the reduction a little bit.
Because with humbuckers, I don't like humbuckers with compressors, but that's fine.
Yeah, and I've got it set subtly, and again, it's all usage, right? Like, there are times when, like, I've got an old red Dynacomp out there in my drawer. It's like, when you want that sound or that thing, or even like the Brent Mason, the Boss Blue, like when you're going for a thing, those are all great.
Yeah.
But in the kind of universal usage, thing, that has always been really effective for me. Yeah. And again, I think I for years was telling them, I was like, how many of these you'd sell if you just didn't call it a bass compressor? Because nobody. But anyways, that's a thing. This, we talked about it a little bit beforehand. This Tilt Overdrive by Rev.
Tilt.
My buddy Sean Tubbs, everybody knows how great that guy is.
Yeah, he's great.
We met touring. He was in Carrie Underwood's band. I was playing for Josh years ago. And you know, Sean is not a self-promoter, and he's never the kind of guy to, you know, hype himself. And so when he calls me and he's like, hey, I got something I think you should check out. I'm like, dude, yeah, what, you know, just here's my credit card, send it to me, you know. But man, I was just really blown away with how this overdrive sounds. And when I had this board built, I specifically built it to have it right here at my foot because I love the boost so much, and I wanted access to just be able to hit that boost whenever I wanted to right here. And the overdrive sounds great, but it's just a really great sounding pedal. It's actually the one this whole time when I've been kicking on overdrive. That's what I've been doing, and it's and just the EQ stuff is also cool. I mean, you can get into.
Yeah, it's
I would
great.
say like pedals like this, like you kind of can't make it sound bad. You can make it sound different, but and then you put the boost on. So I love that pedal. Sean outdid himself. Really, really great. Boss volume pedal. I always used the Dunlop volume pedal. When we built this board, I kind of had to switch to the Boss because I needed more outputs. And it's taken some getting used to. I was traumatized for about a month, but now I'm used to it. I've got it figured out. Trusty Rusty RC booster, just a classic boost. We're kind of in gain stage world, right? RC booster, the exact XTS Winford overdrive, which I love. An Ibanez Distortion, which has been rehoused because those old switches suck. And then I've got a couple EQ pedals with just different.
Yeah, that's interesting with the XTS.
Yeah, and they one of these is their standard kind of mod that they sell, and then there's one that I had that kind of got some more specific frequencies that they did for me.
Do you ever run them at both at the same time?
Rarely.
Yeah.
It has happened. It mostly came from I wanted independent EQs for the two different amps.
Sure.
But they do have there's a couple key frequencies that make me go to one or another depending on some different things. But again, we're back to this, like, you know, when you're in a dense kind of recording and there's this harmonic battle, you know, what you kind of learn after years of making records is like everything can't sound huge.
Yeah.
Right? And as a guitar player, you know, when you're coming up, the worst thing somebody can say is like his tone's thin, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're just devastated.
Oh yeah.
But the reality is, you can't, you know, when you play on a ton of records, like everything can't be huge. Everything can't be louder than everything else.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, you're in a supportive space and you're trying to find this right part to speak in the chorus a certain way. And certainly with great engineers, they can do a lot of stuff to help on their end. But sometimes just like knocking a little bit of extra bottom end off of a tone, or rolling a little bit of top end off, or boosting a little bit of, you know, some of the mid-range frequencies, like small moves can get you. And also the way that your amp and the tubes and the speakers all react to that stuff. Again, to the earlier conversation, is like the EQ moves done pre the amp will sound different and respond different than the EQ moves done after the mic.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it needs to happen there, and sometimes it needs to happen here. Sometimes it's both.
Yeah. But if you can give the engineer something right, ideally they won't have to do anything.
I mean, it's like that's the I just am trying to get people as close to the finished product as I can.
Right.
And then, you know, I'll take all the help I can get from that side of the board, but I want the starting source to be, you know, I'm trying to help us, you know, troubleshoot. So.
Right, rather than say, you guys fix it.
Yeah. And then we already talked about my expression pedal. And
then this weirdo. Yeah, what is this weirdo?
The XP1000. This is a weird internet relic. I think you can find them it was hard for me to source this one when I sourced it. I only know one other guy that has one. But essentially, there were a line of Digitech pedals that they made that, ranged from, there was the old original whammy pedal. There was one that was all of their, like, cool reverbs. There was one that was a lot of their modulations and, et cetera, et cetera. And a couple people figured out that if you bought one specific model, you could mod it to do all of them. So this pedal has been, I think it's on, it's been modded to, with an extra switch and some other things so that it can do all kinds of stuff. Let me see how to get it on here. Well, now it's, I gotta turn it on.
Yeah, there we go.
So like this, I've got, it can do WAP. It can do cool, I think this is like modulation stuff. Yeah, and in this thing you can tell the pedal like controls the speed of the Leslie. And then there's a reverb one and there's some other stuff and you can get to the old whammy stuff, but again, just kind of a big bang for your buck pedal. There's like 3 or 4 sounds on there that are just like super rad that it would be worth having just for those.
Yeah.
But it does so much stuff and there's so many cool things on this. The hardest part is just remembering where everything is.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
It's number 3 and it's setting 32. And kind of scrolling up and down in the banks is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's more like an overdub. Give me a minute. Dig around.
Yes, or you just have like your handful of go-tos, So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole. I think that's everything. I think I covered all of this.
Yeah. Well, Derek, this has really been fun and educational. And I think this guy. Say the name of that again.
I believe the company's called Mission, and it's called an Expressionator.
Expressionator.
Is the thing. Yeah, and there's a couple other dudes I've seen that have it. It's certainly not proprietary.
That's such a great idea, man.
And the XTS guy, again, that's one of those where, those dudes at XTS, and you go to them and you're like, I want to be able to do this and this and this. And they're like, okay, let me think. Have you heard of one of these? Or they'll say, well, we can wire it this way. Or, that's the beauty of going to pros like that is they've just built so many rigs at this point. They know all the pain points and all the, and again, they'll bring up stuff like, well, would you ever want to be able to run this while you run it? And I go, oh yeah, I would definitely need to do that. And you're like, yep, okay, we got you.
That's great.
So they're awesome. They're great.
My pedal board is literally changes by the hour.
Sure, that's not uncommon.
Yeah. It's the crayon box, right? And I have I started with the 16 crayon box, and then I acquired the other 32 or 48 crayons. Yeah. So they're all switching out. But I love these like Strymon delays where I can hold this down and get that infinite, just for transitions and stuff on records. I love a good long tail reverb. Whatever is getting called for.
Oh yeah, that is so dreamy.
And live, it really comes in handy. I noticed Jed Hughes playing years ago at the original Basement.
Yeah.
Here in Nashville, and it was just him solo acoustic, but he brought a little Fender combo amp with a lot of reverb, and his acoustic signal got split between the DI and that amp, and it just allows you to do so much more as a solo performer,
right?
And just get a bigger sound.
And you're not entirely dependent on the engineer. You can actually,
you
got a
get
little
that
control. You can turn it up, turn it down, wet it down.
Exactly.
Hey, since we kind of got into it, I want to go through you got some other instruments I want to hit, but as long as you mention it, let's just take me through this pedal board right now.
Absolutely. Most important part of this whole thing is right here. Thank you, Tom Bukovac, for teaching me how important it is to be properly in tune and to have a proper tuner. And I love the Sonic Research. I bet I got half a dozen of those guys, the mini and the regular size. It's just a great, trusty tuner. And then this board, I actually only more recently have been bringing this into the studio. I've got a bigger board with a bunch of funky pedals I keep at home now.
Yeah.
And this is more of a live setup, and even more recently I reconfigured it just for solo acoustic stuff, not electric so much. But when I'm out these days, this Protein and the Muehlner, sort of their
clone, I guess you could call it.
Yeah. Okay. So what was say that from the protein?
Yeah, the protein, I forget who makes that.
What's it do?
Well, it's got two different kind of drives, John. I don't know exactly what they do. There's the green one, or the blue one, and the green one. I think this is a little bit Tube Screamer, and this is like a blues driver-ish kind of thing.
And do you use this with your electric rig as well?
I do, yeah.
Between them both?
Yeah, and lately it's just kind of been my go-to for having as many options and gain stages for throw and go live gigs on a small board that I can fly with. You know.
Do you use the dirt on your acoustic at all?
Big time. That is a big thing I love to do, and I need to make sure this doesn't.
I want to hear this madness.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Oh, don't need that, do we? Here we go. That's not necessarily dialed in or anything, but it does help to have that just clean mic signal and then some dirt to back it up.
God, that's great, man.
But
like that old Delta funky,
big
dirty
time
stuff.
Big time. It's a big Mississippi influence.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. Okay, love that. All right, that's great. And then what's next in along the?
This was this little Guiatone compressor. Once again, thank you, Jed Hughes. Jed and I were out in 2019 playing in Vince Gill's touring band. And I guess Jed and Vince had gotten hip to these compressors. And for that really clean, this is not the right guitar to kind of showcase it, but it's just a really cool, squishy compressor.
Yeah.
And Jed had an extra and was like, hold on to this. And then a couple years later, I had a pedal. I was like, take that, It's that fun, friendship pedal exchange, the co-op,
Yeah.
And then this Electro Harmonics Canyon, I was looking for a way to get some reverse delay, be able to tap tempo it, and it's so versatile, I mean, I am a part-time snob of a true old memory man, you're just not going to beat that tone.
Yeah.
But I mean, this gets you so close.
Oh, yeah.
And so many options.
And it's that big compared to
big. Yes.
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that pedal.
I've been really, really happy with it. And then, of course, this warped vinyl, the Chase Bliss stuff is great. I've only just scratched the surface with what those pedals can really do. But I love the warped vinyl. I love his version of the tremolo that he does. I've got 2 or 3 of his pedals. The Strymon, I'm actually a Brigadier guy, but this El Capistan is great because you can fold in a little bit of reverb if you want on that one, with that sort of slapback sound that's so cool. And the New Neighbor Immerse, man, I love long tail reverbs. If I'm doing something of my own, like a song of mine, Mississippi in July. Just having that behind me, really helps.
That's something, you play something like that, and then you just get an acoustic alone, and it sounds so empty.
I know, yeah. You have to be careful I have to remind myself to practice sometimes without all the training wheels,
Yeah, they're great. Okay, the last ingredient, the secret bag of riffs is really the main ingredient, but the rest of the stuff is just kind of makes it happen.
This is like all the paintbrushes, man.
Right.
So some of my favorite stuff on here is this DB instrument amp, it's called, but it's actually an expression pedal, and it's got 2 pots in it. 1 so the pedal goes this way, or 2 so the pedal goes this way, and 2 for when the pedal goes that way.
Right.
And you can control a couple different things. So I've got it going this way for this pitchfork, and that's just regular expression, you know, which also so I've got a controlling verb that way over on the 3rd row of my line 6, M9. So the verb goes up with that. So
Yeah.
you get the verb on the up, but also where the fun comes in is the, let me get that. Turn the delay up that way.
Oh, wow.
So you can control two things at once.
Sure. Oh, that's
And
so cool.
I love that pedal. The guy's name is Derek Barrett. He's out of Knoxville. Cool
Huh.
dude, engineer guy. I think he works for the government
Yeah.
on stuff you can't talk about.
Right, right.
Shoot,
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna end up in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, you're just.
You know,
and that
crap.
was the last day of
What
saw
happened?
of Adam. Right. Well, hey, take us through your signal chain from start to finish. so
Oh
we can-
boy, I didn't know it was going to be a test.
Oh man, it's, we're the whole.
You know,
we want the whole enchilada.
I think it's written underneath.
Yeah, right.
You know, if I remember correctly, you know, it goes from the volume to the distortions.
Okay,
you know,
so we're starting with this Dunlop volume.
yeah,
And-
yep, and it comes in, and I'm pretty sure it goes to the Boxer Rock, AC booster.
God, I kind of
And-
want a box of rocks now.
Dude, they're so good, man.
Yeah.
This specific one, the old silver and blue.
Okay.
The black gold ones are a little more compressed.
Okay.
They don't quite have the same thing. They're still cool.
Sure.
But they're not quite the same thing.
Okay.
So I think after that, I go to these mod things like the Mobius, the Lightfoot Labs Goat Keeper.
Okay, so the Strymon, Mobius.
Yeah, all these kind of things,
Yeah.
all the modulation stuff. And then I think I put these distortions on the backside just to have something after
Sure.
the modulation. And
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Like where you put, if you the difference in a pedal like that before or after
Yeah.
the dirt.
and to be honest with you, I probably don't think about it now. I thought
Yeah.
about it when I put it together.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but a lot of the times when I'm using these two extra distortions, it's layering on top.
Right.
You know, and
That's
I think
cool though
I,
to have a couple before and a couple
yeah,
after.
and I think I ended it with the M9 and then finally the well, maybe I think it's the L cap stand and then the M9. That way I can do the delay and then get verb at the end.
Yeah, so
because I like
what's-
verb at the end.
What all are you getting out of that Line 6 M9?
Okay, so
because there's kind of a Swiss
Yeah.
Army knife.
for me, one of my favorite, the Sweep Echo. You know that I keep handy for like verses in a song. You know, like let's see here. Let me get it set to something I would do here. So I might, you know, be on a verse of a song going.
Right.
Then you can turn it off and go to a crunchy thing for the chorus.
Yeah.
You know, so I love the Sweep Echo is one of my favorites, and of course, you know. You can add all that stuff in, but so I keep one of my main delays on, and just an analog with mod. You know, I always have that
Beautiful.
there, and I usually have the sweep there. I kind of find myself using this for different stuff, like pitch vibrato. I go to a lot. It's pretty quality on that,
Yeah, I know
and
some
verbs
guys,
here.
there's like a mod some people were doing to those.
Yeah.
But is it you're just straight? And,
Mine's straight, man. And of
Yeah.
course, there's the new versions that are supposedly even better. you
Yeah.
know. I mean, I feel like the sounds in what was the MM4
Yeah.
and all those sounds were actually a little bit better before the M9.
Oh, really?
I think, but this is so compact and
Yeah.
everything. I mean,
And you know it.
yeah, and you could do a show with that pedal and two distortions. And,
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. The Mobius I use for rotary. I keep threatening to just put my Big Sky here, my Big Sky reverb.
Sure.
But I kind of carry that so I have it wherever I go.
Yeah.
Because that thing's sweet. But the other thing, the Electro-Harmonix microsynth, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of, well, two things we haven't touched on. The microsynth, I love. I got it through this X Blender, the Exotic Effects X Blender. Another thing I kind of use a lot, like that I might use on a verse of a song. Just for
Right.
something, you know.
Yeah, all those weird little tones that are just
yeah.
Easter eggs
and you
hiding
can,
in
you
there.
can you can you know throw a little delay in it. But cool thing with the exotic X blender, you know, you blend it in and you can put that underneath a tone. So you got regular, then you put that under it. Just a great thing. And then the other thing is this is Jetpack Mods. It is a whammy pedal. It's the inside of a whammy pedal. What's the other one? The Space Station, the reverb modulator, and the modulation modeler. I'm probably getting the names wrong, but it's all in one. And
So-
you've just flipped the switch to get
So
to.
some nerd just put it all together. And
Yes. You're a nerd, and we love you. So Jetpack Mods, and so like.
What a great idea.
What's great about that is if you're familiar with the Space Station, it's got this my favorite sound. Let's get down to the bottom. We're dusty here. You got those kind of sounds which are awesome, but they're a little bearing on their own.
Sure.
So if you is it 8? Like the octave, but blended in. It's just a nice little, the X Blender's great for that. And the X Blender's got EQ on it, volume, so you can really dial in a little extra little thing.
Here's what I'm curious about. I find when I'm doing a session, it's such a rush to get everything down. I mean, everybody's time's money, and you don't have time to experiment.
Right.
They kind of want you to just like play it.
Right.
Do you like sit at home and just find all these sounds, or do you just quickly dial them up there and
Man,
experiment?
I try to just go with the moment.
Huh.
You know, and go, okay, this should have a vibrato part, or, you know, or
Yeah.
something like that. That's what I try to do. I feel like I should do that more, you know, because there's some guys on the scene now that are just like, they've got it, but they've done that. They've got their go-to, and you hear people joke like, well, you can't use that preset anymore, you've overused it.
Yeah,
You know, when I first got the Boomerang phrase sampler, my friends wanted to make it coin operated.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's great. But there is something to that. I mean, like just let inspiration go where it goes. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I think there's a value in that. And also, you know what? You don't have to. I feel like if it's just you on a session as a guitar player, you shouldn't feel that pressure. Like, you should be okay, and everyone should be okay with you just giving a bones pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm going to overdub once we get through this song.
Yeah.
This is what I know it's going to need this. You're going to want those power chords on the
Right.
chorus. You're going to want that just chugging along on the verse or whatever, depending on the song. But sometimes you just go, okay, well, I don't really know, so I'll give you the bones.
Yeah.
And then by
We'll
the
figure it
time
out
the next
later.
part comes around, you know, the next
Yeah.
pass, you're like, oh, and sometimes that opens up the door.
Right.
Just to be simple and
Yeah.
leave that space open for a minute, you know. It's also good for letting other players do what they want to do. You know,
Right.
keyboard players or acoustic player.
And that might influence where you're going anyway.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Man. So,
And I guess the last two are with a tube screamer and is
yeah.
that Catlin?
Catlin bred teaser stallion. It's kind of a fuzz. And I have not used it in a while, to be honest with you, but it was I liked it because it was reminiscent of the Big Muff, but a little more tame. Whatever. Whatever. So you don't have to be good to make it. It's proof.
All right, so you mentioned the Goat Keeper, that sort of satanic thing right in the middle. What is that?
Okay, so this is a great tremolo pedal, and it is controlled by actually getting the click, the audio click fed into
wow.
it, so it stays right with the click. So when you
So
have,
how do you feed the click into it?
well, there's just an expression jack. I've got it through this XTS box.
Oh, okay.
You come in, XTS is the best. So if it's, that will sync right with the song.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and there's a lot of, you know, different things to it. So you can do like more of a Let's see. You can tap tempo it if you want.
But there's something about if your a tap tempo is
Oh, it's locked in.
Yeah.
And it's got, all these different subdivisions. So you could do random stuff and just like go like.
oh God, that's good.
Do all kinds of different stuff with it. It's got different waveform.
Oh, that's great.
It's a great pedal, and it locks so good. The only thing is you have to have the audio click with it.
Yeah.
So you can. I rarely use it as a tremolo on its own without being locked.
Right.
But you could do that. But
Well,
you kind of
it's-
got to get lucky with the tempo you tap.
Right, because it's so percussive.
Yeah. Well, and
that-
it doesn't have to be though. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh no, not at all.
You can got more.
Oh, yeah,
of a,
that's like a-
And if you put this just on an even.
Oh yeah, that just sounds like a sweet.
Yeah.
trumpet.
Or like. You can get it.
Oh yeah.
It's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Drop G.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great. You just
Love it.
Get whacked. I don't know what this is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you want to get stupid,
yeah, it's like something's blowing up.
I don't know what that
That's
is.
when the engineer's like, "Is your amp okay? Are you?
That happens
Do
to
you
me
need-
daily.
yeah.
Daily.
Is your stuff okay?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Adam, I can't thank you enough for joining us.
Thank you,
hey,
buddy.
and congrats on the new album.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
Very cool. After playing on all these hits,
Yeah, man.
you've got your own thing
Yeah,
out there.
it's nice to finally have put songs together that I'm totally confident in. And
Yeah.
record comes out January 28th.
Oh, where can people find this?
All your streaming platforms.
All of it.
It's Adam Shoenfeld, All the Birds Sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the cover alone is so cool.
That was my quarantine hair.
Yeah, it was good.
My goal is kind of for people to think it's somebody else.
Yeah, right. Okay, till next time.
Peace.
The satisfaction of finishing your pedalboard for the 38th time.